How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Senseonics. We ended up having a sell-off in the market today. Of course, it was impacted by this, but we have info from the CEO saying, hey, we should be hearing from the FDA in the coming weeks. So this is why I want to put this video out there so you keep this play on your radar. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Senseonics. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.67, and it had no change whatsoever from the previous day, despite the fact we had a strong sell-off in the market. So that's actually good. And then on the low, you can see we tested at $2.65, and then on the high, testing $2.82. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 7.619 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 8.892 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we still saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 44.29. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So Senseonics is in a bear market, but one of the things I want to point out to you, we are holding down support here right at this 260 level. Like the CEO was talking about, he said that we should be expecting a decision from the FDA in the coming weeks. So I can see, hey, a lot of buyers are stepping in anytime we dip below 260. So you can see even when we get into this 250 range, buyers step in. So what I'd want to keep an eye on, especially if the sell-off continues inside of the market, a possible test going back down here to 250. And we also do know there's a gap that needs to be filled to the downside that's right here around $2.15. Will that happen? Who knows? But if we end up filling in this gap before we get the decision, I will definitely be loading the boat here on Senseonics. If we're looking for a bullish reversal from this stock, then I'd want to see it get to at least back to the 50-day, which is right around $2.99, and then making that move essentially to $3, which would put us above the 200-day, where it's at $3.05. So overall, I don't mind if Senseonics continues to consolidate in this tight range, because when we do get that news, I can see us making a strong spike where we can get back into that $4 level. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Senseonics. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 52.06%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 1.72 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 500,000, updated 20 minutes ago, and then for the sharp offer rate, it is at 9.90%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 18th, it's at 42.83. And then for the close of the 19th, which was yesterday, jumping up to 52.06. So what this tells us, Senseonics does have short squeeze potential. And this is why we see a lot of volatility when it comes to this stock. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Senseonics. So we can see here on the inflow, it's at 3.46, and then on the outflow, it's at 3.26. So we ended up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0.49. On the medium, it was 2.04, and on the small, it was 0.93. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 2.02, and then on the small, small, it was 1.24. Looking at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, January the 20th, it being that inflow of 486.49 thousand. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. No surprise due to the conditions we had in the market. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. It was fairly close though. But when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. Again, institutions loading up when the stock is pulling back. And then when we take a look now at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.72%. And for a stock like Senseonics, this is not bad whatsoever. And this tells us shareholders are holding on to their positions. There's not a lot of selling that is happening, and we do see there is interest on the whale, institution, and fund side. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Senseonics, in regards to the overall price action, we have strong support in the 260 area. And if we do end up pulling back due to the market conditions that we've been having, there is a lot of interest at the 250 area as well. So these levels, keep an eye on. We also do have a gap that needs to be filled to the downside at $2.15. So that's another thing that you're going to want to have an alert for. But one thing that is very clear, there's a lot of demand for Senseonics shares. So I don't see this stock going to $2.15 due to the fact that the CEO did say that we should be getting a decision from the FDA in the coming weeks. Yes, I can be wrong on that, but I will see that as an opportunity to add if that does happen and if we don't get the decision as of yet. I just see it as an opportunity. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So this is what I'm saying. If we end up getting that FDA approval, I can see this stock going to $4 and even higher. It all depends on the demand that happens inside of the market, but I do see there will be buying volume, and with that, this is where the stock can start going very parabolic. Right now, it's just in a consolidation phase, showing a lot of strength. I saw we did have a sell-off towards the end of the day in the overall market, and we still able to finish at the same close that we had from the day before. So this tells me right away that there's a lot of demand, and institutions we could see have been loading up on shares. I know I sound like a broken record, but do your homework, do your due diligence. This is very key. So if you are thinking about jumping into the play, and if it dips and so on, you'll feel confident enough to say, well, you know what? I think I'll buy the dip. There's a lot going for this company. I see some upside and so forth. I just want to make sure you're confident in any play you decide to jump into. I know for myself, if this stock gets down to the 250 area, I'm going to be looking to purchase up some more shares. I'll even put in a limit order because I don't see it lasting that long. But with the volatility that we had, if we end up having a bigger pullback, I will be prepared for that as well. And I hope you will be too if you're interested in this play. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.